He didn't mention what Renata Boston described the shooter to look at, because she saw him come out of the woods. Slim build, 5'8" to 5'9", between 160 to 170 pounds. That is not even close to Hakeem Robinson. Multiple independent civilian witnesses, multiple police officers, all describing someone that could not possibly be Hakeem Robinson. And all their testimony, all of them, the ones whose testimony isn't bought with the promise of freedom, they're all consistent. It's clearly not him. The only eyewitnesses that will say that the shooter is Hakeem are the ones who have cut deals with the government. And they're not going to just present these eyewitnesses to you. As Mr. Cooper said, they're going to present all this other stuff, but take a close look at the details of what they present to you. Because not one piece of that evidence is going to be direct evidence that Hakeem Robinson is the shooter. Let's start with the cell phone evidence, because it's going to be a lot. All the records that they're going to produce to you, all the cell phone records that definitively show 100% Dominique Barna using his phone, Leroy Whitaker using his phone, Abdul Robinson Jr. using his phone, Abdul Robinson Sr. using his phone. All of them are communicating with each other. You know whose phone isn't being used? Or they don't have a record of being used at all? Hakeem Robinson. Mr. Cooper just got up here and told you that he's going to try to put a phone in the possession of Hakeem Robinson, a phone number that begins with 478. You know whose phone that's registered to? Abdul Robinson Sr., aka Blues, former dead best friend. That phone is registered to his father, not to him. And you're going to see that that phone the day before was pinging in the same place that his father was. They're going to try to make you think and connect that phone to Hakeem Robinson, and they will be unable to do so. Next up, fingerprints and DNA. They're going to try to present you with DNA and fingerprint evidence trying to put Hakeem in that car on that day. But members of the jury, their own expert will tell you, their experts are going to tell you, we have no idea when that DNA was left there, or how. We have no idea how that fingerprint, when or where it got there. All that proves to you, members of the jury, is Hakeem Robinson knows Leroy Whitaker. They're cousins. They hang out together. That's a fact that we're not disputing. And what did Mr. Cooper fail to tell you? That DNA was found on a t-shirt that was in the car. It's not just Hakeem Robinson's DNA. The expert is going to tell you that it's mixed up with 3 other people that I don't know who it is that's on that shirt. Then they're going to tell you that, well, I'm going to tell you that the evidence will show that a man's DNA was found in that car. That's going to say, I don't know how my DNA got in there, but it's there. Someone that is completely disassociated with this case. All that's going to prove, members of the jury, is that Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker, Torgon Williams, they're all friends and that they know each other. He told you that car was had been reported stolen for 2 months. They had been all in and out of that car. That DNA and that fingerprint does not place him in the car on the day of the murder. You're going to hear about all of the DNA that they have been unable to identify or match with someone else. But members of the jury, what I do want you to know is, even though Hakeem hung out with all these guys and he grew up with them and stuff, Hakeem was different because he was making it. Charles McCormick, you know, they said he put out that song. He didn't put out a song. I mean, no one knew about that song. I mean, he tried to release it. He wasn't on the level of Hakeem Robinson, AKA, you're going to hear this name a lot throughout the course of the trial, Ksoo. And what you're going to hear, members of the jury, which is going to be very important. 4 days before the murder of Charles McCormick, Hakeem Robinson was signed to a record label that gave him a $40,000 advance. 4 days before. He was making it, he was leaving, he was doing his music. All of these people, though, they wanted to be around him. They wanted to share in his fame. But Hakeem cannot be put in this just because he hung around with the wrong people and was friends with them. He is not responsible for what they did in their free time. And even the government, well, I thought the government would agree that you cannot convict someone by association. And that is true, members of the jury. Guilty by association has no place in this courtroom. Mr. Cooper also mentioned something about a social media post. But members of the jury, when you view these pieces of evidence, please take them into context. He said it happened right after he made this post, 7 days after he made this post, okay? And it's all assumption and speculation with the phrase that he used. He is trying to say that that is somehow a confession. That post didn't say, hey, I killed Charles McCormick. He's going to ask you to imply that when he mentioned that had something to do with the murder that happened before that he had nothing to do with. But members of the jury, what we are going to ask, and this is what I'm just going to ask, we are at the beginning of this case, you haven't heard any of the evidence or seen any of the evidence yet. All I ask of you, each of you, is to please just pay close attention and really listen. Because when you strip away all the evidence that isn't either bought with money or the promise of freedom, the truth is going to be staring you right in your face. Focus on the credible, reliable, unbiased testimony from the witnesses, coupled with what you can see right in front of them. More importantly, your common sense. Because that is what you will need to see the truth in this case, because it is not him, members of the jury. Mr. Cooper talked about the fact that this case is going to be a puzzle, and that you'll be able to see a picture at the end. But I'm going to tell you this, members of the jury. If one piece of that puzzle doesn't fit, it is not guilty. Do not shave the pieces of those puzzles to try to force it to fit. Because when you look, you are going to see the description does not match Hakeem Robinson, not even close. Now, members of the jury, there is a reason why the framers of the Constitution, this country's Constitution, ensured that the government would not have too much control over the freedom of the citizens they are meant to protect. And that was by giving the final word, not to the court, not to the state, but to you. People are innately flawed in that they sometimes can't see the truth when it's staring them right in front of their face, or they can't admit it when they've made a mistake. You are 12 members of this community, 15 members of this community, who have promised to look at this case through fresh eyes. That is all we beg of you, to objectively look at the evidence that is presented to you in this case. Because when you listen to all the credible, reliable evidence in this case, it's only going to prove to you one thing. Hakeem Robinson is innocent. Find him not guilty. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Kwas. All right, I'm going to allow the court reporter to reposition. We will then bring in jury from Mr. Whitaker, and we are going to hear from the state's first witness today, and then we'll be recessing for the day. So just so you know the schedule, that's what we will be doing.
I'd gone to pick up mail.
And what type of vehicle were you in when you went to the shopping plaza?
2007 Dodge Ram Mega Cab, 1500,
Does it have a lift on it?
4 inches.
So that makes it sit up 4 inches higher than a regular?
Correct. It came from the factory that way.
Okay. Was anyone else with you when you went to the UPS store?
No.
And do you recall where you parked?
Behind the UPS store and directly facing the employment office, which was at the end of the storefronts in the back.
And by employment office, do you mean express employment?
Yes.
What did you do after you got there?
Got out of the truck, went into the UPS store, got mail, and came back out and had gotten in the truck and had opened a couple pieces of mail, bills, just to see what they were, then turned on the car.
And what happened after you did that?
Right about the time I started the truck, I heard the first shot. I wasn't quite sure what it was. I had music going on the stereo. But I looked around and saw a young gentleman running, and maybe a second or two right behind him, another gentleman chasing him with a rifle, firing at him, and eventually hit him, or he tripped, and ended up shooting him multiple times while he lay on the ground.
The person that was being chased, did you see where he came from?
He had come out of the employment office.
Now, when this shooting took place, was there anything that obstructed your view?
No.
How close would you estimate you were to the person being chased and the person chasing him?
I'd say they're about 15, 20 feet off to my left.
Did they run across where you were parked?
Yeah, so it's kind of a little to the right of the employment office, but right on the edge of it. So out of the corner of my eye, he came running past, and I saw, then turned and saw the other one. So that distance between the chaser and chasee was about 15, 20 feet, and then he was being chased down the promenade.
Do you recall approximately how many gunshots you heard?
My estimate would be 12, but between 10 and 15.
Did all of this happen fairly quickly?
Yes.
After the shooting stopped, the person that chased the other person and shot them, what did they do?
They came running back. The car that I didn't see them exit the car, but they came back to a Nissan that had come racing up to my left, almost hit my truck because I was pulling out, and he jumped in that Nissan.
And what did you do at that point?
At that point, I had pulled up farther, was actually perpendicular to the other side of the employment office, and I was kind of rolling forward, just kind of watching on my back window. They took off down the Publix shopping lane, and I chased after them.
Prior to chasing after them, when you were in that area where you just pulled up and you saw the Nissan coming up, did you see anyone else outside in that immediate area?
Not in the immediate area, no.
Would you consider yourself to have been the closest person outside in that immediate area?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of you trying to follow after that Nissan Altima?
Ultimately, hoping to catch the license plate of the Nissan. More than that, I don't know whether I thought through what I was doing.
Prior to the Nissan taking off, did you see what side of the car the shooter got back into?
Passenger side, front.
Were you able to see clearly into the Nissan?
No, it was very heavily tinted with windows.
Do you recall what the shooter was wearing?
Sort of like a tracksuit, hoodie, just very baggy, and just really covered up, so there wasn't really much I could see of the shooter.
Were you ever able to see the shooter's face?
No.
Could you tell anything about the shooter? Could you tell what color the person was?
As I was driving past the employment office and kind of watching the shooter come back, had a mask on, but I could see around the eyes. Definitely was a black individual.
Could you make any determination as to whether it was a male or a female?
It was baggy enough, I would say just by the movement. I would say it was probably a male, but I really couldn't tell any physical features. Like I said, the jumpsuit was very baggy.
What type of firearm did you see?
It was a rifle with an extended magazine.
Did you have a dash cam in your vehicle?
I did.
Where was that equipped?
I was on the front windshield, up high on the windshield to the right of the rear view mirror.
Did you have to turn that dash cam on in order for it to record?
No. I do have to, it's not wired into the battery, but I do, whenever I leave the house, I plug it into a cigarette lighter, so until I unplug it, it stays running.
So even when you got to the shopping plaza, parked, and went to UPS, was that dash cam still recording?
Yes.
And approximately how far did you follow the Nissan after it took off?
Well, as I was going down, the Publix had a police officer pull up beside me, waved him in front of me, and I followed them to the exit of the Publix shopping center. They exited onto Merrill. At that point, I couldn't exit safely because of oncoming traffic, so I waited. Eventually got onto Merrill and went downtown to where they had gone, but I never caught up to them at that point, turned around and went back to wait for police and paramedics and all.
And when the police showed up, did you tell them that you had a dash cam in your vehicle?
I did.
And did you allow officers to view that video and download it?
They downloaded it, yes.
Now, on your dash cam, does it include the date and time of the video?
No, because of the fact that I'm always unplugging it and it's losing power. It'll just read whatever the default date is.
Okay. So not necessarily the accurate date and time, but it still records. Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Is it
Showing you what's going to mark your identification as State's Exhibit 8E. Can you take a moment and see if you recognize that disc, sir?
That's the one that you had me sign.
And is this a recording of that dash cam video?
It is.
Fair and accurate as to what was recorded on January 15, 2020?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this time I would ask to move what's been marked as State's Exhibit 8E into evidence in both cases.
All right, is there any objection from Defendant Whitaker?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from Defendant Robinson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, then without objection, State's Exhibit 8E will be moved into evidence. The State's Exhibit, do you want the numbers as listed on your exhibit list?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, number 187.
And Your Honor, may I publish that?
Yes, you may. And while you're setting that up, let me just tell the jurors that any and all items of evidence that are moved into the trials of each of the respective defendants are going to be sent back with you into the jury rooms for your use during deliberations if you wish to see or observe these things again. So this isn't the only time that you will be seeing the state's evidence, or any evidence for that matter.
That's awful. I could change that. Change the source. What's the source? What's the source? Source. It's on. Source. I can't see it. Hang on.
There's one.
Everyone's monitor on?
All right, yes, let's confirm, are both juries' monitors on? Very good, and counsel, everyone's monitors on, and the witness's monitor is on as well. All right, you may proceed.
Mr. Kruger, I'm going to show you a clip from your dash cam video and ask you a question. Mr. Kruger, that comment, that's the car right there. Was that you speaking?
Yes.
And so, was that the vehicle that the officer got behind?
It was.
Okay. And do you recall where that vehicle was parked, if you saw it prior to the shooting?
I didn't see it prior to the shooting, but it would have been off to my left 3 or 4 spaces. Didn't really notice it until I was pulling out and they came roaring up to the curb where they would have picked up the gentleman that had shot the other gentleman.
And based on being present at the time, do you have any estimate as to what the height of the shooter would have been, just based on your position?
I'd say 5'10", 5'11", less than 6.
But pretty close to, based on 5'10" to 5'11"?
Yeah.
Okay. Judge, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, cross-exam for Mr. Whitaker.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Good. You mentioned that this is a strip mall you go to fairly regularly?
Yes,
Okay. And in this strip mall, there's a Publix, correct?
correct.
And a Bailey's, I think it's now Ksoo's Gymnasium,
Yes,
and even like a medical office, like a Baptist outpatient.
yeah, that was, in front of that is where the young gentleman was actually killed.
Okay. And obviously, we could see from your dash cam video, there's a lot of cars, there's a lot of people out there, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. You mentioned you were not able to see into the inside of this silver car, correct?
that is correct.
And as you, I know you may have watched it now multiple times, but as you were watching it that day on January 15th, could you tell it was a Nissan Altima?
Yes,
Okay. But you were not able to see how many people were in that car,
No.
one way or the other, correct?
it would have to be two at least.
Okay.
The driver and the gentleman who got in the passenger side.
Because logic would dictate the shooter that we see in your video isn't driving that car, right?
Correct.
And your testimony is that you watch that silver car go closer to the shooter to pick the shooter up, right?
Yes,
And that's where you get the very logical assumption there had to be at least two people in that car, correct?
yes, ma'am.
But other than that, you have no information.
No,
Okay. And you certainly only saw one lone gunman, correct?
correct,
One shooter, correct?
correct.
And you didn't hear any kind of words before the first shot, correct?
No, ma'am.
You didn't hear any kind of words throughout the entire dash cam video, correct?
Correct.
Besides your own proclamation trying to make sure that the officer saw, hey, that's the car that was involved, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have anything further. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. Cross from Mr. Robinson.
Please, Your Honor. Good evening, Mr. Kruger.
Hello?
You consider yourself precise, correct?
As precise as I can be, yes.
You own an esports team?
I do.
You were a computer architect for a number of years?
I was.
You're precise in your work
I hope so.
and in your words, right?
Yes.
No. The distance between you and this shooter is about the same distance between me at this podium and you in that seat, correct?
About, yeah.
Give or take a few feet?
Yes, sir.
You were wearing your glasses that day,
Yes, sir.
and you got a look at the shooter. You saw the shooter.
I saw the shooter in the sense that I saw the individual in a tracksuit, but I did not see identifying anything that I could identify him with.
Now, you're a big guy yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
6'4", 230?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, if the witness may please stand and if I could approach.
Okay. All right, let me see, court reporter and counsel at sidebar. You can have a seat, Mr. Kruger, while we do this. Right this side. Yes, y'all can come up, it's only, I can't find the white noise on here. Yeah.
proceed, Your Honor?
Let's make sure the court reporter's ready. Yes? Okay, yes, you may proceed.
All right, Mr. Kruger, if you can stand for us again, we'll resume where we were. You're 6'4", 230, right? All right, now if you could take a seat again, I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
The shooter that you saw, and again, the distance in between you and I right now, you would describe that person as smaller than you by a long shot, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, when I say long shot, I mean under 6 feet to me would be long shot, but
But we're not just talking about height, we're talking about height and weight, correct?
he was lanky, yes.
And in your words, somebody who is very slight, right?
Lanky, yes, slim.
You would agree with very slight.
Very slight? I don't know. I said that a tracksuit was very baggy, so it definitely was not a stocky gentleman.
Do you disagree that you said very slight, or do you not remember?
If I said very slight, then that's what I said.
Would it help your memory if you were to take a look at your deposition?
Sure.
You're under page 16, line 12. The court should have an email from myself with the transcript, if I may approach it.
Okay, you may.
You do me a favor, just look at this, don't answer. You just repeat that highlighted portion, then I'll re-ask my questions again, okay?
Okay.
The shooter was very slight, right?
That was the word, yes.
Those were your words.
Correct.
And he wasn't carrying a lot of body fat either, correct?
Correct.
And although you said that he was 5'10" to 5'11", you wouldn't swear to that.
As a matter of speech, it was my estimation. That's what I really meant.
But you unequivocally said that he was very slight.
I did.
All right, one moment, please.
Yes.
Nothing further. Thank you, Mr. Kruger.
All right, is there any redirect?
No, Judge.
May this witness be excused?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kruger. Sir, you're excused and free to go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 5:30 p.m., and so we are going to recess for the evening, each of the two juries. I'm going to ask that you leave your notepads behind. We will lock them, secure them, and return them to you when we reconvene tomorrow morning, again here in courtroom 407 at 9 a.m., where we will continue with the state's case in chief. I must remind you that over this overnight recess, you're not to talk about this case with anyone or allow anyone to say anything to you or in your presence about this case. Please make every effort not to read, watch, or listen to any television, newspaper, or radio stories that might be printed or aired about this matter. And additionally, while we are returning your electronic devices, you're not to use them, phones, internet, computers, or anything, to find out any information about the people or places involved in this case. And again, I'll repeat, you are not to visit the locations mentioned in the trial so far. Tomorrow we will commence at 9 promptly, and we will proceed as we have been with periodic bio breaks with a 1-hour lunch recess, and again we'll recess in the evening anywhere between 5 and 6 depending where we are with the questioning of a witness. And that is it. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, the jury for Mr. Whitaker and the jury for Mr. Robinson, you are excused and free to go. Thank you.